Okay. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Terry. Terry wanted to make sure that her hoodie and all of the words on it, yes, building wealth while sleeping, not sleeping on building what you better do that, investor. Because Terry, I'm an investor. That's where you can follow her. Hey, good morning. Welcome, welcome,
Good
welcome.
morning. Good morning. You know, one of my students actually gave me this sweatshirt. I'm
Nice.
I'm starting to get gifts from my students, which is pretty cool. They're like,
Well,
you know
you
what,
give.
Chair? Go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna say you give them the keys to unlock the wealth that they never knew that they could have. So gifts are a small thing, and that's nice. And it's amazing that you don't have merchandise to sell yourself like that. You don't
Not
even do that.
yet, right? Not yet. I'm thinking about it though. I'm like, what can I sell? There's
Well,
one
you're
shirt.
selling knowledge.
Right, exactly. I was gonna say there's one shirt, the Black Investors Matter, that I wear a lot. A student actually made that for me too, but whenever people buy that shirt, she sends me a couple dollars, and so I'm like, well, maybe that's the shirt that we'll start doing for trade and travel. But it's fun.
So you are preparing for vacation. I hear you're. So what
Yes.
during a pandemic? What does that even look like?
Oh my gosh. So I actually leave it today. I'm going to Seattle, and it looks like there's two friends in Seattle that actually do filming. And so we're just going to get together and have fun and film some content about investing. They're investors too. So that's what vacation looks like for me. I got a nice Airbnb that can see the water. So I plan to kind of snuggle up near a window with a book and just relax. And I'm not looking at the market. I told my students, I'm like, y'all, with the election coming up, who's not going to be trying to trade this week? Me. So I've been
You did
trying to
say that.
encourage them too. Like, you got to take, like, this last few weeks, like, we don't know what's going to happen. It's like earnings for the whole market. So take a break. Come back in a couple weeks, like, especially if the election's contested, it's just not a good time to trade.
I love that. And you did foreshadow this in the last time we talked, and we took a break because you wanted to take some self-care, which I also, this is interesting. I had a discussion with Dr. Greg Carr for our Saturday class, and the whole class, the theme was taking a pause. I think many of us, we run 100 miles an hour, we just we trying to get to we got to do this, got to do that. We got 50 million things to do. We got to, and one, do everything, because many of us think we have S's on our chests and we are super
Right.
people. But you gotta take a break. Everybody gotta take a break. So this is a good time, since the market's gonna be haywire crazy anyway. Take a damn break. So I'm grateful for
Exactly.
that. Pick back up when stuff settles. All right. So as an investor, you've been doing this so many years. You have seen the ebbs and flows during election periods. And taking this break for you, does it take you off your course? Like what? How are you dealing with this mentally or emotionally, or not at all?
So, good question. So, the last time that there was an election and Trump got elected, right afterwards, the market dipped super low. And then all of a sudden, overnight, it came back up. So, if anything, if I was truly trying to invest this week, I'd want to be a futures trader because there's going to be some huge movement overnight after hours, and like they probably could take advantage of it if I was somebody who wanted to just like really be making money from the election. um but honestly, I'm okay. The mental thing that I came to the last couple of weeks, so 2 weeks ago it was, okay, are we going to get a stimulus package or not? And so the market was kind of up and down all week trying to decide if there was a stimulus package coming. Then nothing happened on Thursday, Friday, and it dropped. Like, that's something we just don't know what's going to happen. It's out of our control, so why try to trade? Then this past week the market's been falling even through some of the biggest earnings. Like, Amazon had a stellar blowout earnings, but it still fell 100 and something dollars. So there's just so many things happening in like leading up to the election. What I've been doing is watching it because I am a trader, and some days I've had FOMO, like, dang, I wish I was trading today. I can't believe I'm not trading today. And then I have taken some risk, especially in my other accounts, like, you know what, I'm gonna just try this. just see. You know, the reward to risk, I did my homework still. The reward to risk works out. I'm going to just try. Girl, all them just try messed up. So I was like, see, that's why I'm taking a break. So it's been a little bit of like watch and see, but I've been putting more cash in my account so that if the opportunity comes after the election, I'm ready. It's be prepared, but also be disciplined to sit on the sidelines.
Okay. All right. So, you were asking me, should I do a presentation? Should I? I was like, listen, this is one of the most organic, and this is the first time you've done this, or organic, transparent journeys, through investment. I don't know what's going to happen. You probably know more than I do because you have the experience. But I said, whatever comes out of this, it's a blessing because people get to see in real time what people are doing, how it works. A master investor, you get to see the ebbs and the flows and the highs and the lows and the wins and the losses, and it's not so scary. So if it means that people get to dip their toe in this water who never thought that they would be investing because they're watching this, we've done our job. Because if only 4% of us are in the stock market, and the majority of that is through our 401ks that most of us aren't even invested in actual stocks to begin with, we're missing out on, when people talk about the economy, which is not, the stock market is not the economy, but that is where most of the wealth is built in this country, which is crazy. We need to be at least in it and at least know it. If you don't want to get into it, at least know how to do it, at least know that this is what's impacting your life, because while it's not the economy, it does have an impact on us
It
day to
does.
day.
It does. And I think the word for me lately has just been control. Um, when the coronavirus cases first started flaring up in March, the market fell super big. And I think a lot of people who were invested realized that they didn't have a lot of control. Their accounts just dropped out of nowhere. And if they had a 401k, all of a sudden, they can't retire anymore. And I've realized that my class is giving a lot of people control again by teaching them how to invest in the stock market. At least they have some money on the side in their own account that they control. Win or lose, good or bad, at least that gives them a little bit of safety because they know it's not that they have to call a broker or call somebody else to try to make their trades. And like I got a little taste of that last week. All of my technology and accounts I was locked out of. So and I had technical issues.
So what's a what now?
Yeah, I had technical issues with my Gmail account, and all of a sudden they said, "Hey, we think there's a security breach, and we can't prove that you're you. So we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 days." And they like locked me out of Gmail. But then every day I was realizing things that I couldn't access. So because I didn't have Gmail, I couldn't access my calendar. I couldn't access any of my Google Drive, and I've been having that account since college, so almost 20 years of documents, emails that I couldn't access. Couldn't access YouTube because it's Gmail. Then I also had issues with my TradeStation account too, where there was like some trades that I was in and it was showing I was making money, but I couldn't get out of them. So it was just like, what is going on? But I think it was a reminder of me of like what it feels like when you're not in control. And that now is kind of a passion for me. Like by helping people, I'm actually giving them their control back. And I know what it feels like not to have your control. So, yeah.
To be locked out of everything. I mean, and if we're being honest, I mean, do we control anything really? I mean, we live this life, which is why my thing is always whatever you can control, your weight, your health, your savings, the money that you make, getting up, working, the things you can control, relationships, you know, work on those because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to rain on everybody. You can't control that when the storm comes, when the pandemics hit, when the markets, you can't control any of that. The things you absolutely can control, don't hand that over and just the Lord will provide, or whatever happens, happens. No, you can make some things happen and you can prevent some things from happening. And if that is the case, do that. Like I get so frustrated when people just throw their hands up and just let life happen to them as if, we have unlimited time here and things are always going to just shake out. Now, some things you can put your thumb on the scale and make happen, and some things you can prevent, like giving up sugar and white flour and rice and stuff, like this runs in your family, it doesn't have to, I keep going back to this. My father always said I was going to have high blood pressure because he had high blood pressure. My mother has high blood pressure, right? And I was like, so I'm like Google searching how high blood pressure. How do you get? Oh, okay. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna ever have high blood pressure because I'm not gonna eat like you eat. And I made sure when I came over that they would have to cook vegetables. I would have salmon, no meat. And guess what, Teri? I don't have high blood pressure. I
I
do
was gonna
not.
ask.
As a
I was
matter of
like, so
fact,
do you have a
no, no. As a matter of fact, it's a little low. It's a little low. Like, so I don't worry even about getting stressed. I was like, I needed to go up a few points. My cholesterol is 138. Don't have high cholesterol either. And I feel like, that was something I could control, but that was spoken to me. Like, you're going to have this because it runs in our family. My mother had it, your father, like, that could be controlled. That's not genetic. It doesn't have to be. So I just look at that like money too. Well, we've never had money in our family. It was just a curse over, people say there's a curse over their money or
right?
whatever. It's like, yeah, you cannot spend that money on those things. If you buckle down and put 30, 40, 50% of your paycheck in a savings account, just starting there, you don't have to be broke. If the
Mm-hmm.
average American before the pandemic didn't have $400 saved, that would be like my goal. Like, let me get 3 times that. If the average American doesn't have that, let me work on making
Be
sure
above average, right?
that. So I just wanted to just say that, and I thank you for teaching people. All right, so no charts today because you're not trading. You're not trading
Right.
next week. You're gonna go to
No,
Seattle, so we won't talk next week either. But what's your game plan coming back in afterwards?
coming back afterwards, I'm going to go back to small goals because I have taken like a little bit of a break. I got to get back into the swing of things, and if I come out just trying to like swing for the fences, which I am known to do, like I'm gonna just kill it today. I'm gonna try to make 300,000 in a day and finish this, and every time I get big headed like that, it does not work out. So I'm gonna start small. I'm gonna start back at our $3,000 a day and keep continuing to grow it. My excitement was right before we left. I really wanted to pass the $100,000 mark where we would be over 400,000 in our account, and like we did get there on Monday, like right before I stopped trading, we got to like the 400,000 mark. There was still, like I told you, there were some technical issues in there, so I still have to go back and kind of make sure all the accounts are right. But I'm excited to start from there and then keep working towards the 750,000.
Okay. Well, listen, have a wonderful trip to Seattle. Have a safe trip, safe flight. Stay away from people. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Uh, stay healthy. Enjoy the water. What are you bringing book wise? What are you reading?
There's a book called The Multiplier. Have you read that one?
No, I have not. Tell
It's
me about
it's it's supposed to be about like how leaders make everybody around them better. And so I'm excited because like I want to be a better leader for my team. So I'm really excited about that one. And then there's another one called The Story Brand that I'm reading. And it's about how when you are building a business, you should speak in stories. And I think I naturally do that, but I want to get better at it. So those are the two that I'm excited to read.
Love it. We love books here. So I'm gonna drop those books in the description. And
Yes.
for people, because that's how you improve yourself. There's nothing new under the sun. People have done things before, so why not learn from them? And I'm learning from you, Teri, and I appreciate you doing this. Again, have a very safe trip, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Right. Oh, and follow her at I'm an Investor. I'm an
Mhm.
investor on Instagram. Follow her at Trade and Travel right here on YouTube. I'll drop that in the description as well, so you can follow her YouTube page. I don't know if she's gonna be posting while she's on vacation, but I know eventually she'll be posting again when she comes back.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and the course, you can go to, well, the link will be here in the bio, but the course starts up again, the trade and travel course for November. So people can jump into if they're ready to learn. I
right,
think this
well,
is, oh, go ahead. I was going to say,
okay,
I think this is the best time to start learning because if you jump in now, the course is 8 weeks. So you'll be learning through the end of the year and be able to really get started in 2021. So that's a really great time. Hmm.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Teri, love you and enjoy. Tell your mom I said hello and
Love
just
it.
take care of yourself.
Thank you. Love you too.